Welcome to Stories for Lip Reading. If you haven't used our website before, we suggest you look at our How to Use page before you begin. We hope you enjoy this story, which is called Buddha's Revenge in the Garden of Zen by Pat Kelly. Buddha's Revenge in the Garden of Zen by Pat Kelly. I call it my Zen garden, although I have no idea what that means, and it isn't even a real garden. It's simply a tiny wedge-shaped area between the house and the boundary wall, away from the run-of-the-mill lawn and flower beds. An old oak bench taken from my parents' house sits on a small circular paved patio. Smooth round pebbles in beautiful pearly tones of pink, grey and white fill the rest of the space. A large potted fern has pride of place. Its velvety, curly new shoots stand tightly furled, ready to burst into life. Spear-like leaves of hostas fill the corner with every shade of green and purple. Bamboos rustle in the breeze. 4 statues of Buddha sit cross-legged, eyes closed, praying, for peace, I suppose. A large mimosa tree shades the bench from the sun, dripping tiny yellow cotton wool blossoms into the shadows. It's my favourite place to sit and read or write, or even just to think. One dark morning, we were woken at 3 a.m. by shouting, loud groans and expletives coming from the garden. This was followed by the sound of running feet, car door slamming, an engine revving and the squeal of tyres. Rushing downstairs, we switched on every light in the house. We didn't go outside, as we could see what was happening from the safety of our living room. An intruder was caught in the beam from the security light. He was lying in among the shattered plant pots, clutching his leg, face contorted in pain, blood streaming from his head. When he saw us, he tried to stand, hoping to escape, but in a torrent of foul language, he fell over again, his leg possibly broken. He wasn't going anywhere. We rang the police and waited for the welcome sound of sirens and the flash of blue lights. The officers were delighted with their arrest. Later, we were told that the man was part of a gang who'd been carrying out burglaries in the area for weeks. Because our side gate was bolted, our unwelcome guest had been given a leg up over the garden wall by his comrades. The plan was that he, in turn, would help them over. They'd then break in by forcing a window or door, take whatever they could carry, and escape by unbolting the gate. It didn't matter to them whether the house was occupied. They had iron bars and breaking tools, so if we'd given any trouble... Fortunately, it had all gone wrong because, in that dark, hidden corner, he'd failed to see the Buddhas guarding their place of peace. He had landed awkwardly on the gravel, toppling over onto the pointed top knot of one of the figures. He had cut his head very badly. His ankle was fractured. The other burglars abandoned him, leaving him to it. Once in custody, he'd rewarded their disloyalty by naming every one of them. Cleansed of blood, the Buddhas pray on. Peace is restored in the Garden of Zen. And the thieves? They're all awaiting trial at the Crown Court.